Okay, so now I spent all my energy, so okay, let's try again. Yes, about what do I talk about? Imagine that, so Knowledge Scout, I am a software architect, okay? And now I'm getting in an age where I have some time to think, okay, what are the biggest questions of this time? My name is Peter Aichner, I already said, and and I have tried out these new technologies, for example, to see what we can do and how can we take this knowledge, what's within this event here, how can we use the new technology to learn from it, okay? and how can we start thinking maybe together? I would like to start with a picture, okay? We are here in the Neu Tech Park. Here, this is a really great place in this event. There are a lot of tough people talking about a lot of nice and interesting things. And so it's about technology, innovation, big data, big business, sometimes, not today, but the other days. But when I go outside and I go some steps ahead, then there is this building of the EURAC, and they have a lot of knowledge about climate change. They see that we are burning down this planet within some centuries. Okay, it's also important knowledge for us. And then I go ahead and I see then also the University of Bolzano. Then they have also really tough persons with a lot of knowledge. But all those knowledge places are separated. They do not talk together a lot. They remain in their silos, okay? And my question was, how can we connect these islands of knowledge in a way? And if I see it in an analog space, how it's fragmented also in a digital space, and could technology help us doing this? And this event today is, they have a nice website, okay, where we can take a look at the past events. And they, you see all these great ideas from the past, well organized in long lists of presentations. Every presentation has his own media, video, slides, and so on. But it's, if I'm interested in something, I would need hours or days to read it, okay? And how can we bring this all together? So how can we, all those files and spread it around piece of data, how can we put them together? And so this was the collect and transcribe and connect them everything, okay? So I built, first of all, a very powerful backend, so under the hood service, secretary service. Why secretary? In the original sense of secretary is someone who takes your secrets. So this, it's a Python project which takes all those data, regardless which format, and transforms it in a meaningful way with OCR and Whispered and so on, and creates at the end well-structured markdown files with a meaningful structure. So this elaboration should change nothing from the content. It's just transformation. The meaning and the content is that what people told here, okay? And then here you see what's coming out. So in the middle, you see this big piece of Markdown. There is a lot of translation from the video, so spoken words, but you see also the slides with text from the slides. I got also some metadata from the website, and so and this is the original. But then I summarized it in meaningful steps. The first summarization is for human reading. So building from this talk a nice formatted Markdown where you can read it in 4 minutes, the whole talk. But I also summarized a very smart piece of text that I need for insights when I wanna take overview over the whole event with hundreds of talks. And then the technology behind it's not rocket science, so this is just a specific technique to when I ask a question to this text corpus, let's say at the end, the system is selecting the best pieces from these talks, what could be interesting for the answer, and then from maybe 5,000 pieces, he takes at the end 100 pieces, and from these 100 pieces, he creates a nice answer. Okay, and so it looks like, okay, first when you enter to this website, you see all the talks, there are hundreds of talks, every talk has this nice format that like a blog article, you can read it. But the most important point, there's always a link to the original website where I scraped it. And on the left side, you see facets where you can filter. So when you go ahead and start asking questions, the preciser you define your context of interest, the more precise the answers will get, okay? So here in this step, it's more about getting an overview. I would say also becoming familiar and confidence that you see it's not about KI prompting, it's about people I'm asking to, okay? And then you can switch to a chat view where now the system, this is a little bit an older view, now in the actual version, you start with a table of contents dynamically created by the selection of documents from the previous step. So the system creates a nice format that, so these are the 7 chapters, and below each chapter you find these are the common used questions to these chapters. But you can also select your chapter, your question below. At the end, the system generates an answer to a question. In this case, I ask something about education, open source in education. Sorry, my eyeglasses here, I see nothing. Okay, and then you get a nice answer, okay? But the content of the answer, it's only about that what was in the talks of the conference. And of course, on the bottom, you see possible next questions, or on the right side, you see this answer was created by the talks of these people here, okay? But that's not the only thing. The most important thing is that the system, you can change the point of view, okay? So it's not so that you get the answers with this strange language of these developers here that no one understands. You can switch your perspective. You can say, I want to get an answer from the, I'm a policymaker, can you tell me what does this mean for me? Or you are eco-social designer or whatever. So you change, and you see on the right side that the same question, you get different answers, okay? It's about your personal context. You are the journalist, not someone else. And that's not the only part. You can also choose your social context. You can say, can you explain this to me? I'm a senior in letters that I understand. Or I'm a student, or I'm a child, or I'm an immigrant, or whatever. You can also choose. So at the end, the system gives you the answers in a language that you understand. Okay? So I have to finish. At the end, the whole system, I call it a common knowledge stack. So it could be also your personal stack. I will not go into detail, but from the raw data, secretary service, knowledge scout. So this knowledge scout behind, it's a library based on file system. So I can share my knowledge that I generated by sharing file system with Nextcloud, what we have with other people, and they combine libraries with libraries. So this was only the library of this event, but we could create a library for schools, we create a library for whatever, okay? But I am responsible which knowledge I would take into account when I ask questions for my personal interest. Okay, and the vision is that we, from an individual insight, we come to a collective point of view to what's reality. So I always say, since millions of years, we have our perception here. We reflect what we feel. Then at some point we have to decide, and then we start acting. But in the reality today, with this complex world, we need to do this in a collective way. So we need to perceive together our knowledge. Then we need to reflect together, and then there is also some way to decide together and then to act together. Okay, and this is important. And at the end, I would like to invite you. You can try out this piece of software here with a QR code. I'm in the B-Commerce Lab. I'm in a labor environment, so it's not. It's for me. It's just an adventure project. Okay, I have no commercial idea and interest, but I'm asking you if you have any ideas of data that we can collect together and share our knowledge. So this is the main, but of course, it's not finished. So I know some bugs. I must go home and fix it now, okay? But it's just an ongoing way, and at the end, if Ötzi from the Naturmuseum would take a look at this world today, he would say that knowledge does not belong to anyone, so we are just a part of this movement, and we need all the knowledge available, and thank you to being part of it.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you for your ideas of sharing knowledge and making knowledge available to everybody. I remember you made a great effort of doing the same thing with the FOSDEM talks. It took a little more time, I suppose.
Yes, I started this idea with FOSDEM, and I also would like to present this idea with the FOSDEM library in Brussels next, but they don't know nothing about it. Or I hope they will give me a little bit space. But I am also in collaboration with Dachverband für Natur- und Umweltschutz. So they have a big library for the biodiversity of South Tyrol. And my goal is that we bring this also to this level, that you can ask any questions about South Tyrol from the last 100 years. I'm sure that there are a lot of in the third sector, so people, they see not what they are doing as the needs to protect it, because they don't earn money for their knowledge. They would like to share their knowledge. So there is also, from my opinion, a big field of interest to when we all would put our knowledge together, we would be much greater than Google and Microsoft and Apple together. So it's just, for me, it's not a question of ethics, it's just an architecture question. I'm a software architect now. If we build a system so that we can put everything together, what we are interested in, then the other ones, they have no chance. Okay, so just build it.
Okay, we have time for another question from you. Okay, no. Okay, one question.
A question or also a little discussion, because I thought about in a startup weekend about a speaker rank, important to evaluate speakers from this kind of conferences, and it's about also assuring quality in speeches. And I think, how can you use this tool in the actual time of helping people to decide to which speaker go? You know what I mean? To see he's not the right one for me, from my level of experience, for example. We can think about using this in not just to summarize, but how can we use this tool helping people to prepare for a conference? Or even, giving review.
When I have seen before, they ask, how can we explain open and free software to children and so. So it could be also a tool for professors, not professors, for teachers, no, to get information ready in the language of the students. But it's open source, okay, this tool. So you are well invited. At the end, we just need files organized in file structures, in folders. No, if you have a nice folder structure with audio files and video files and slides, then it's you do so and you get this nice page, okay, and you can ask too. So this is the way that we, and this can everyone do. So you're responsible for your knowledge, collect the files, and then get the insights, okay? And don't ask anyone else to filter it before, and at the end you get just biased information. So, but it's a good idea to have people with good content. So it's our responsibility to knowing